Hi. My name is Cassie Lookan. For my project I will be focusing on Sir Thomas Picton. Born on 24th of August 1758, died on 18th of June 1815, aged 56, Picton's reputation was built on his military prowess. He made it to the senior rank of Lieutenant General in the British Army.
In 1797, following the conquest of the island, General Ralph Abercrombie placed Colonel Picton in charge of Trinidad along with a relatively small military force. Picton became the governor of Trinidad from 1797 to 1802.
Picton was not officially appointed governor because the British were skeptical about if they would keep Trinidad at the peace treaty which followed the war. Picton was officially appointed governor in 1802.
Another consideration to note was the vagueness of the British mandate established under the capitulation. The capitulation does not give specific or enough details for a person who is not skilled in governance to govern a territory. Picton did not have any former experience in governing a territory.
Trinidad official seated in March 25, 1802. Picton was also officially appointed governor at this time. There was also an increase in British entering the territory to further develop the territory. However, this would be a problem for Picton since the British would want a representative system whereas Picton was an authoritarian leader.
Picton also assisted in developing a police force. Due to the fear of recapture and that he had a bounty, having a militia established safety and also exerted control to the population. Since there was always the threat of recapture or counterattack from the Spanish Main, Picton tried to prevent this by building a fort, called Fort Picton, on the Laventille Hills, but it was later nicknamed Picton's Folly since it was never used for its purpose.
The plantation economy was maintained and thrived. Picton was also a plantation owner. He grasped the opportunity to make money since the system is what brought in revenue for the territory. There was a growth of estates as well as an increase in the amount of exports.
Through plantation economy, one can note how Picton helped develop the territory economically. His leadership and decisions helped the territory flourish. Planters or slave owners' power increased. During this era, slavery was very resourceful and profitable. This linked to the plantation economy flourishing. Dominance of the enslaved population. Picton encouraged enslavement since it benefited the economy. He was also a plantation owner, so this was an added benefit to him as well.
In 1800 there was the establishment of a strict slave code. This led to the development of harsh policies which encouraged torture and abuse of the enslaved for minor offenses. There was also the Louisa Calderon incident. Louisa Calderon was of mixed heritage and less than 14 years old. She was beaten and tortured to confess to a crime of theft. Louisa Calderon was imprisoned for 8 months and was unable to move her arms after being tortured.
This was a mulatto girl, however, not an enslaved. This was because Picton also tried to control the free-colored population.
The free-colored also outnumbered the whites. Picton and his revolutionaries also developed strict policies to govern the free-colored movement and access. Picton considered them to be dangerous and wanted to eradicate them. There were reports of tortures and other atrocities. British subjects were treated poorly. There was an intolerance of representative government. Picton encouraged the slave trade, which was inhumane. His style of government may not have pleased the British, who withdrew his sole governorship and appointed 3 commissioners, First Commissioner William Fullerton, Picton himself being Second Commissioner, and Commodore Samuel Hood, 3rd.
Picton was court-martialed for 1. His atrocities against enslaved. 2. The treatment of Calderon. 3. Hanging without court-martial of soldier Hugh Gallagher for rape and robbery of free-colored woman.
His final battle was the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. There, charging at the head of his men, he was killed.
Overall, although Sir Thomas Picton was labelled as the Tyrant of Trinidad, he managed to do some good in terms of keeping the economy stable and aiding in further developing the territory. Being a military personnel, he just wanted to serve his country in the best way he can. However, that does not make up for all the persons that suffered because of him, especially the enslaved and the free-colored.